All right, hello algebra students. Chapter 2 is on writing and graphing inequalities. So 2.1, we're going to start with the basics. I can write and graph linear inequalities. To do this, we need some vocabulary. An inequality is a mathematical statement that compares expressions using less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. If you want to write down which is which, that's a great thing to add to your notes. All right, the solution of an inequality is the value that makes it true. So just like an equation, the value that makes it true, except for now we're going to have a range of answers. The solution set is the set of all solutions to an equality. So a solution makes it true, solution set is the set of all the solutions. All right, example 1, we're going to write each sentence as an inequality. The difference of a number w and 3.5 is less than or equal to -2. Well, I know the difference normally means subtraction, so the difference of a number w and 3.5, so I'm going to start with w minus 3.5, is less than or equal to -2. So less than or equal to -2. All right, part B, 3 is less than a number n added to 5. So I'm going to start with 3 is less than, that's where I put my symbol, so less than a number n added to 5. So n plus 5. All right, and then we have 0 is greater than or equal to. So 0 is greater than or equal to. Twice a number x increased by 1. Well, twice a number x is 2x. Increased by 1 is plus 1. All right, example 2 says decide if -4 is a solution to each inequality. How we're going to decide if -4 is a solution is we're going to plug -4 in for x and see if it's true. So part A, we're going to plug in -4 for x, meaning we'll have -4 plus 8 is less than -3. Well, let's solve that. -4 plus 8 is positive 4. And is 4 less than -3? No, it's not. So not a solution. And part B, we have -4.5 times x is greater than -21. So -4.5, we're going to plug in -4 for x. It's greater than -21. And -4.5 times -4, negative times a negative is a positive. And 4.5 times 4 is going to be 18. So is 18 greater than -21? Yes, it is. -4 is a solution to part B. All right, and now we're going to graph each inequality. So y is less than or equal to absolute value of -3. We're going to solve that equation first. So the absolute value of -3 is positive 3. So when I graph this, I'm actually going to be graphing y is less than or equal to 3. All right, so when we graph inequalities, linear inequalities, we're going to have a number line. And I'm just going to write 0, 1, 2, 3. Get a good range of numbers in there. 0 through 5 is a good range for 3. And less than or equal to. So first thing I'm going to do is put a circle on the number that's given. In this case, the number given is 3. Then, if it's or equal to, we have to shade it in. Or equal to is closed because it could include the number. Y could be 3. If it's not or equal to, it's open because it's everything up to that number. It doesn't include the number. All right, and then it's less than. So my arrow is going to point to the lesser numbers. All right, and there we go. There's y is less than or equal to 3. All right, part B, I have 2 plus -4 is less than x. We're going to solve it first. 2 plus -4 is -2 is less than x. And sometimes it's easier to read these if the variable is first. So -2 is less than x is the same thing as saying x is greater than -2. It's just reading it backwards. All right, so now I'm going to have a number line again. In this case, I'm going to range it from -3 to 0. I'm going to put my dot on -2. And this is just greater than so it's open. It's everything up to -2. It doesn't include -2. And then x is greater than, so it's going to point to the greater numbers. All right, and example 4 has some problem solving for us. The graphs show the height restrictions, h, for 2 rides at an amusement park. Write an inequality that represents the height restriction of each ride. So ride A, it looks like the circle is at 48. So I know 48 is going to be one of my numbers. We'll use h, and it's pointing to the greater numbers. So h has to be greater than 48. And I notice that the circle is closed, so it can include 48. So h is greater than or equal to 48. All right, and ride B, it points to these smaller numbers, so h has to be less than 52. And that circle is open, so it does not include 52. H is less than 52. All right, let's wrap it up with some summary questions. How are inequalities different than equations? Well, inequalities use the sign less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. They're also different because you could have a solution set. You could have multiple solutions. All right, and how do you graph an inequality on a number line? Well, you use an open circle for less than and greater than, and you use a closed circle when it's or equal to. And if it's greater than, it points to the greater numbers. If it's less than, it points to the lesser numbers. All right, if you're given a solution of an inequality on a number line, how do you write the inequality? Well, notice the number, notice if the circle is open or closed, and notice which way the arrow goes. And where do you see inequalities in everyday life? One example is amusement park rides. Another example could be temperature. Say you have a high and a low temperature for the day. Say the low is 64 and the high is 80. Then your temperature for the day is going to be greater than 64 or less than 80.